The Force 441, Mopar's last big-inch supercar. The Detroit marketing pendulum has taken a refreshing swing toward daring do and away from safety, smog, and economy pieties. Ironically, even as Washington, D.C. dictates gain a tighter stranglehold. With a soon-to-be-canceled big block 441 V8 and a Star Wars-inspired pun on the police package that comes with it, the Force is Mopar's last mega-cube supercar. For the car-buying public, not the EPA, smoggy skies are not a prime concern. Even the idea that a government fuel economy mandate helps the car buyer, a point vigorously advanced by NHTSA's St. Joan Claybrook, it's a dubious point because even as gas prices rise, the horsepower that has been so severely curtailed by federal smog pogroms is back by popular demand. Last year, Pontiac sold nearly 69,000 Trans Ams. This ranks with the yearly sales of the GTO in the 60s. This year, sales will likely break that record, no doubt helped by last year's hit movies Smokey and the Bandit. A very little-known fact, but one we have confirmed with producer Hal Needham, is that the Pontiac Trans Am SE was not originally going to be the Bandit car. Needham had originally wanted what was in '76, when the movie was being conceived, the most powerful two-door car you could buy, the 240-horsepower Dodge Charger Daytona. Needham later decided that the Trans Am's lower height was better for the stunts in which the Bandit car hides underneath a semi-trailer at highway speed. Since Pontiac has upped the ante with a new 220-horsepower Trans Am, Dodge is joining the Muscle Car Preservation Society with a car derived from their police car and named with an ironic nod to the blockbuster Star Wars movie. It's called The Force, based on the 118-inch wheelbase Dodge Monaco or Plymouth Grand Fury two-door hardtop, rather than the familiar 116-inch wheelbase Cop sedan. It packs a 49-state emissions 255-horsepower 441 Magnum. Next year, the Dodge Monaco and Plymouth Fury four-door sedans will be replaced by a lightweight R-body Dodge Specialty Sport Sedan. Packing a smaller LA block 200-horsepower 381, it will be Dodge's fastest flyer for the Fuzz. Dodge is promoting the Force package as the last hurrah for the 1960s vintage 400 and 441 cubic inch B block, which will end production January 1st, 1979, when tightening federal smog regulations make it illegal. To get the Force, you must live at an address that is A, not in the state of California, so you can go without Chrysler's N95 emissions package, and B, in a county at an elevation below 4,000 feet, so you needn't buy the N96 emissions package. You must order the A36 heavy-duty package on a two-door coupe. This is very similar to the Trailer Assist package, though the A36 requires the 400 or 441. The Force is consistent with NHTSA Chief Joan Claybrook's opinion that Detroit should make police cars faster than private cars. However, Chrysler has never offered a police pursuit package that a private buyer couldn't order if he was willing to wait 6 to 8 weeks. But you won't even have to do that, since Chrysler will produce dolled-up civilian versions. You should be able to buy the Force, Grand Fury, or Monaco out of dealer stock very soon. The Nebraska Highway Patrol has already taken delivery of a batch of 441 Grand Fury two-door hardtop pursuit cars, surprisingly equipped in the Brougham trim with body side moldings, opera quarter windows, and bucket seats. The A36 package includes heavy-duty springs and shocks, a high-capacity radiator, a transmission cooler, and 6.5-inch wide wheels. You also get special fabric-belted radial tires because some steel-belted tires have proven unstable at speeds over 100 miles per hour. All V8s get power steering, but the A36 gets firm feel steering with a quick 14-to-1 ratio. Unique to the civilian The Force is a required 321-to-1 axle ratio. Apparently, bowing to St. Joan's feelings on the matter, police versions will continue with the 271-to-1 axle, which yields a higher top speed. The Force actually does not require any trim options, so you can pay substantially less if you don't mind the stripped-down hubcap look. You then have a choice of the 220 horsepower E68 code Lean Burn 400, which shares a higher lift cam and dual exhausts with the 441, or the E86 code 441, which adds some heavy-duty pieces like chrome flashed valves. Our test car's federal Lean Burn 441 has the same camshaft as the California Police 441, but the 49-state 441 doesn't use catalytic converters, and so it adds 10 horsepower for 255 at just 4,000 RPM. It's the most powerful engine you can buy in an American car. There's a full-on marketing push by Dodge to sell the Force as the last of its kind. They've even got MPC to promote the Force as a model kit. One distinct impression we get in this last hurrah muscle revival of 1978 is that automakers are eager to once again put their most powerful cars into our ink-stained hands. Only 3 years ago, we had to beg and plead Plymouth to lend us their fastest Roadrunner, but now it's Dodge begging us to test their quickest car. They are not only proud of their most potent cars, they have also renewed their confidence that hot cars will draw buyers to the showroom. Even if shoppers don't buy a Trans Am or the Force, they still might buy a Firebird Esprit or a Monaco Brougham. But we would accept no substitutes. The entire charm of the Force is all the no-nonsense hardware that comes with it. This really is a heavy-duty rig built for speed. The only extra cost go-fast goodies needed were a tachometer and the Sure Grip differential. Dodge provided us a plush Monaco Brougham with hood ornament, hood splitter molding, color-keyed vinyl side moldings, dual horns, color-keyed carpeting, premium door panels with pull straps, and chrome moldings that go up and over the C-pillar to terminate the half-vinyl coated roof. Two-door Brougham has a no-cost bucket seat option. White vinyl thin-shell bucket seats with contrasting black carpet gave the interior of the Monaco Brougham a sporting look. You get a standard middle jump seat for that occasional middle passenger with a backrest that folds down to act as an armrest. Unlike with the Trans Am, you have to pay extra to get some of the sports car goodies in our tester, including a remote-controlled dual rear-view mirrors and a luxury steering wheel. It's a color-keyed tri-spoke tiller that replaces the black foam-rim Tough wheel that was introduced in '71. Then there were other things like power windows, an inside hood release, color-keyed floor mats, color-keyed seat belts, light package, tinted windows, speed control, tilt steering wheel, and intermittent windshield wipers. No Bandit imitator would be complete without an AM/FM stereo with a CB radio, so you can talk to truckers regarding the whereabouts of Smokies, just like the Bandit. Our car's MSRP nonetheless exceeded the price of the WS6 4-speed 220 horsepower Trans Am. It undercuts the MSRP of the only other big block intermediate or standard size supercars left. Pontiac's Bonneville SE and Ford's 7.5-liter stratified charge fuel-injected T-Bird costs thousands more. Though the TA is undeniably the it car of the moment, we can attest that the Force is definitely worth the price as a full-size supercar fresh off the showroom floor. Our car had only a few hundred miles on it, but we suspect that some of those miles may have been spent fine-tuning the engine. Maybe that's another hopeful sign when the PR guys send over a ringer. Our car weighed more than the '77 Dodge Magnum we tested in the summer, but from the first 5 minutes behind the wheel, we knew for certain it was much quicker. Most new cars only chirp the tires when floored from a standing start. Even fewer will actually smoke one tire. This one will spin both tires from a standing start and lay 20 feet of rubber, shifting into second. When we wrung out the Force on the quarter-mile strip, we began to suspect Dodge had super-tuned the car. Our best quarter-mile elapsed time of 14.82 seconds at 94 miles per hour represents the fastest time we've scored in a large car in several years. It was not a fluke either, as the car broke the 15-second barrier 3 times in 5 runs. The 0 to 60 mile per hour sprint of 6.9 seconds is equally impressive. The top speed of 122 miles per hour at 4,800 RPM was reached quickly despite the car's tall, upright grille and windshield. Michigan State Patrol car trials with a Monaco sedan yielded 128 miles per hour, again thanks to the 270-to-1 axle ratio. Though our car looked like a typical personal luxury barge, its ride was uncompromisingly stiff. We certainly don't like a marshmallow suspension, but on anything but glass-smooth asphalt, your posterior will get constant reminders that you bought the toughest car of '78. After many adrenaline-fueled hot laps on the high-speed road course, we can attest that the police car chases you see on the Rockford Files are true to life. The A36 suspension is as near neutral as any large car you can buy. The result of the ultra-stiff suspension is that the massive torque of the 441 can flick the tail loose when you don't intend it. Yet the neutral handling maximizes the bite of all four tires in fast, sweeping turns, so learning to drive the car at the ragged, dramatic edge rewards a great driver with great lap times. Thankfully, we were on a closed course where our spinouts just put us into the weeds. The meaty HR78 radial tires rescue the ride from being unbearable, while also granting better directional stability. That's a saving grace in a car so willing to change directions. But Chrysler needs to warn buyers that it really does handle like the tail-wagging squad cars on TV. Consider yourself warned. The Force can get you into more trouble than you bargained for. Respect the Force. Another thing to respect, maybe even fear about the Force is its gas economy. No one would call the 60s supercars fuel misers, but at least they had high compression ratios that squeezed more efficiency out of the big displacement. If you spring for the 441, be prepared to fill that big 26-gallon gas tank very frequently. Around-town mileage is a wallet-busting 9 miles per gallon, and highway mileage, even wafting along at 60 miles per hour, soars to only 12 miles per gallon. Braking was like the handling. If you could ride the ragged edge of the lockup point, the 4,200-pound Monaco could be hauled down in short order. But a true panic stop in which you stomp on the brake pedal will lock the rear brakes so that the car would usually end its stop pointing 45 degrees to the right. As with Han Solo's Millennium Falcon, you've got to know this speedy vessel's quirks and surprises under duress. We could see buying this car just for the bragging rights, but the problem is that there's no exterior badges to tell the world you think cafe regulations stink. Buyers have shown a soft spot for image cars with tape stripes and T-tops. The Monaco Brougham is a relatively flashy car, and it even has a moonroof, but its big grille is shared with the sedan, and thereby about 10,000 taxis and cop cars across the USA. We thought our test vehicle was handsome, but people really craned their necks to get a look at a black and gold SE Trans Am, while our tester was universally ignored. If the idea is to impress the lovely maidens attracted to Corvettes and Trans Ams like iron filings to magnets, the Force is not for you. On the plus side, it is probably almost as invisible to the fuzz as it is to those lovely maidens. The real point of the Force is to go fast incognito. But the fact remains the Force is a purposeful and enjoyable car to drive. Every time you drop the hammer, you are rewarded with a leap into hyperdrive, to put it like Han Solo. Yet we think that Dodge's hope that buyers will rush in to get the last of the big ones might be optimistic. The major selling point is that it won't be around for long. It's the last of the dinosaurs, and when you refill that huge gas tank and pull away $20 poorer, you'll realize that there really were reasons the dinosaurs, fearsome and powerful as they were, had to go extinct.